Today, I will be talking to you all about the comparison between the New York Giants and an animal cell. To start off, I will begin with one of the most important organelles inside the cell, the nucleus. The nucleus, the control center of the cell, contains the cell's DNA and controls all activity within it. It also contains an inner organelle called the nucleolus that produces ribosomes. Eli Manning, the quarterback of the New York Giants, runs the offense, and more importantly, he runs the team. He knows that all of the plays, or the DNA, that the team has, and he chooses which play to run. The nucleolus would be Tom Coughlin, the head coach of the team. He inspires the team to do well and to try their best to succeed in the journey to the Super Bowl. Proteins play a critical role in the cell because they have many different functions. As enzymes, they drive all reactions. They also provide structure as the cytoskeleton, and they allow for transport across the cell membrane. Focusing on one of the protein's main jobs, being an enzyme, the analogy for the Giants would be the player's mentality, confidence, and preparation. In sports, a big part of the game is mental, especially in professional leagues. Having these three components can help you play better than ever, or drive reactions like catching a diving touchdown pass, or running and juking through the whole team. The cell membrane is the barrier on the outside of the cell where all materials enter and exit through, and it is made of the phospholipid bilayer. On the Giants, the offensive line is very similar. Each player on the line acts as a phospholipid, but in this case, we don't need two lipids back to back because there's no water, and the players aren't hydrophilic or hydrophobic. There's just one layer of protection, and they make holes for the running back to go through and serve as a barrier to the defense. Ribosomes are defined as little organelles that direct protein synthesis, or the producing of proteins. On the New York Giants, I define it as the player's drive to do well, or to get that extra cash bonus for making the playoffs, or to want more than anything else in the world to wear that Super Bowl ring proudly. Having these factors, it sparks confidence, smart preparation, and a good mentality, all components in my analogy of protein. The mitochondria in the cell are tiny organelles that turn organic molecules into ATP, or energy. In the New York Giants, it can be defined as the food and the water that the players are constantly eating to gain energy. To be playing at a professional level of any sport, you have to be eating both healthily and consistently. For example, look at Michael Phelps. He eats over 12,000 calories a day. That is an outrageous amount to be eating. Being an athlete, he can burn all those calories easily without gaining any significant weight, giving him the energy he needs to win the gold. The rough endoplasmic reticulum, or RER, produces proteins and lipids. All of the proteins that are made here go directly to the cell membrane to act as a membrane protein. An analogy to this could be the offensive line coach, Pat Flaherty, along with his assistant Jack Bignell. They recruit new linemen and shape them up to gain self-confidence and good tactics, or in my analogy, protein. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or SER, produces steroid hormones and lipids, such as cholesterol. On the Giants, this would be the head scout and recruiter for the annual NFL draft. He would inspect new players and draft the best choice, many of them being running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and linemen, better known in the cell as steroid hormones and lipids. The lysosome in the cell is defined as an organelle that holds enzymes that break down large molecules. On the Giants, it can be thought of as the defensive line and the linebackers. They take down large running backs and tight ends, or in the cell, molecules. These running backs and tight ends are working against the team, and the defense's job is to stop them. Golgi apparatus is known as the packaging center of the cell. It alters newly made lipids and proteins and sends them out to either different parts of the cell or outside of the cell. In this case, they are the offensive and defensive coordinators, Kevin Gilbride and Perry Fewell. They put skilled players, or lipids, in positions in which they would excel in the most, and they also teach them plays and tactics to increase their level of play and once again, their confidence. They also have a say in trading players to other teams. The cytoplasm is a gel-like substance that is located inside the cell membrane holding all of the cell's organelles. The cytosol is the actual space in which the cytoplasm resides in. In this analogy, this would be the stadium that the Giants usually play in, better known as New Meadowlands Stadium. New Meadowlands is their home field. Inside it are the New York Giants, or all of the organelles that normally exist in an animal cell. The cytoskeleton in the cell consists of thin tubes and filaments that give the cell its shape. It also allows movement of both organelles inside the cell and the cell itself. In my analogy, they are the football pads. They allow movement and they give each player its shape.